What's up, everybody? Welcome back to racingnews.com. Welcome back to another one of our previews. All right, let's get to it. Let's get to a big race on that Saturday card up at Saratoga. Going to be a fun weekend of racing. And the big one on Saturday is the Travers. That's not this preview. This preview will be for the Allen Jerkens. For the 3-year-olds, it'll be sprinting 7 furlongs on the dirt. Race 10 on the card. Of course, a grade 1 event worth $500,000. Field of 8. It's a hell of a field of 8. I thought, the Travers obviously came up short, no doubt about it. We did get the big horse, Sovereignty, but this race, it's like, yeah, this is who I kind of want in here. I want to see these horses run and see what happens. All right, like I said, field of 8. Let's go through them one by one. Hopefully get you a winner at the end. And let's start with the number 1, Patch Adams, who definitely is back to what he does best after trying the Kentucky Derby trail. Let's not forget, I should say, it was at 7 furlongs where this horse burst onto the scene back in November of last year at Churchill Downs with a 10.5 length victory, an electric performance where he received a 98 Beyer speed figure. Then there was 2 races around 2 turns, and both races were not good whatsoever. 4th in the Southwest, 4th in the Tampa Bay Derby. Hit the reset button, go to 6.5 furlongs. Guess what? He wins, and he wins easily. And then tried 7 furlongs in the Woody Stevens last time out, a grade 1 event on Belmont Stakes Day. Guess what? He wins. He wins easily. I think he likes going 6.5 and 7 furlongs, if I had to guess. His 3 Beyer speed figures at those distances, 98 going 7 furlongs at Churchill Downs, 96 going 6.5 at Churchill Downs, 99 going 7 furlongs at Saratoga. He's right where he needs to be. I also like that he is tactical in this spot as well. I feel really good about that. There's a lot of speed in here. He has speed as well, but he doesn't have to have the lead, and I think that's going to be important. I think that's going to be a big, important thing in this race. A horse that can be speedy and up towards the front, but doesn't have to go to the front, I think will win this race eventually. The number 2 is Midland Money. I was super impressed last time out. This horse came back off of a long layoff at Saratoga to run an allowance race, went gate to wire and won by 3 1/4. Broke the maiden way back June of last year at Santa Anita on debut by 6 lengths. And like I said, kind of disappeared. Didn't see him until August 3rd up at Saratoga. And like I said, it was a very impressive race, no doubt about it. The bad kind of sign for me is Flavien Prat not aboard. Joel Rosario is aboard. Joel Rosario, I'm not a Joel Rosario hater, but Flavien Prat jumping off after just winning that race is a little bit troubling. Can the horse rate off the pace? That's another thing as well. Very, very fast, set very, very fast fractions and held on last time out. Now we're stretching out to 7 furlongs. Can he do it? I'm not quite sure. That's the big question mark. Did get 100 Beyer last time out for that effort. Pretty good there. How about this horse next? The number 3 Barnes. Remember him? Well, if you don't, I don't really blame you. He's been gone since April of this year, where he was a distant 5th in the Santa Anita Derby. All kinds of rumors were swirling that Barnes was not doing well in the mornings leading up to the Santa Anita Derby, and he ran like a horse that wasn't doing well in the mornings. 2 races back in March, he was defeated by a length and 3/4 by Journalism. That doesn't look near as bad as it did that day, even though it really didn't look bad that day either, because that race got a 105 Beyer speed figure. That is an inflated number, no question in my mind, but still a very good performance that day by Barnes and Journalism, obviously. 3 races back, here's the race that I look at the most, the San Vicente at 7 furlongs, the big key. That 7 furlongs is where we're running today. He ran well, a 5.5 length winner, really didn't face much in that one, did receive a 93 Beyer speed figure. So I think getting back to what he ultimately wants to do. I don't really think he ever wanted to go too much past a mile. I think 7 furlongs, probably pretty good for this horse. The problem is we haven't seen him since April. It is Bob Baffert, so you don't worry about that as much, but that is a concern for me, no doubt about it. I do think it is a good sign Jose Ortiz gets the mount. He's just been on fire here at Saratoga. So a nice pickup mount for him. Look, Baffert has the 2 and Baffert has the 3 and Baffert also has the 8. The 8 kind of has a rider that's somewhat makes sense because Johnny V rode Madaket Road last time out. The other 2, I think the mounts were open, and I think Baffert would put Ortiz on his better one. So I think, or at least the horse he feels the best about out of the 2. So that's a good sign for Barnes, but will he be ready? off that race in April. Hasn't raced since April, I should say. I'm not quite sure. How about a cutback horse here with Chancer McPatrick, who pulled off, in my opinion, a very improbable win in the Curlin last time out. He won by a head in that race, going 1 1/8, and that's why I thought it was an improbable win. I thought this was a one-turn horse. No, I guess not. It was a 2-turn horse last time out in the Curlin. 2 races back in the Woody Stevens, the horse was 7th, beaten 6 1/4. 3 races back in the Bluegrass, the horse was 6th. 4 races back in the Tampa Bay Derby, the horse was 2nd. He had 3 great wins to start his career, and he was pretty average for 4 straight starts before that win last time out in the Curlin. Bottom line, I'm not sure he's as good as these horses, even after that Curlin win. I don't have a lot of faith in him. Full disclosure, he beat me in the Curlin. I did not use him. You'll have to beat me again in this spot. I don't think I'm going to use Chancer McPatrick in this spot. The number 5 is Verifier, and I think this is a very interesting horse. 3 races, 3 wins, broke the maiden at Colonial with a 92 buyer, won an allowance at Pimlico with a 91 buyer, stepped up to Stakes Company last time out in the Maxfield at Churchill Downs, dusted the competition with a 95 buyer. Flavian Pratt will be aboard. I do think that's interesting because Flavian Pratt was aboard, like I mentioned, Midland Money last time out. Horse that was very impressive. He jumps to Verifier. I think this is a big-time candidate to win this race. And like Patch Adams, I think is fast, but I don't think has to have the lead. So that'll be very interesting to see where this horse sits. Verifier looks pretty good to me. An up-and-coming horse for Brad Cox, who will be tough in the spot. The number 6 is Smokin' Wicked. This horse runs up to the name of a Smokin' Wicked at times. There are times he will show up and run a big-time race. One of those times was last time out of the Amsterdam. This horse freaked. A 5 3/4 length victory there with a 101 buyer speed figure, a big career high. Will he bounce off that effort a little bit? That's the question. Will he be able to withstand a lot of pace pressure? He's one that I do think likes to get to the front. Will he be able to withstand it? I'm not sure. That's my big question mark there. But boy, if he runs back to that last race, he's going to be tough. He was very, very impressive in that one. The number 7 is Captain Cook. Todd Pletcher horse here. Ricardo Santana is going to ride. Last time out was beaten pretty easily by Verifier and Smokin' Wicked. 2 races back, beat in the Peter Pan by Hill Road and McAfee. This is a horse that was with Dutrow and was running okay, going longer. That cut back to 7 furlongs is one where we really thought, okay, now we're going to see something. Maybe this horse is going to like the 7 furlongs better than the stretching out to 1 1/8. Didn't really see it. He did break his maiden very impressively at the distance at Aqueduct. Didn't get a great buyer speed figure there. But I don't know. I am on the fence here. I've kind of chased this horse a little bit. Kind of sick of him, to be quite honest. I do think it's interesting Pletcher takes over. I don't know if it's going to make that much of a difference or not, though. I'm kind of just on the fence. I don't think I'll use this horse. The number 8 is Madaket Road. And this is a horse I'm going to use underneath for sure because that's what he does. 2nd in the Woody Stevens, 2nd in the Pat Day Mile. He did finish 4th in the Florida Derby, 2nd in the Rebel Stakes, 3rd in the Robert B. Lewis. So horse just likes to hit the board a lot. He's been a pretty productive horse, just hasn't been able to get that big win. I don't think this is the day that he gets it, but I do think he'll be around. I do think he'll be around with a shot in the end. All right, that is the field of 8. What a race. This is super good. I wouldn't be shocked if, you see a Barnes, a Midland Money, even a Chancer and Patrick, Smokin' Wicked, a lot of these. I wouldn't be shocked. But in the end, I kind of came down to 2 horses, Patch Adams or Verifier. And I'm going Patch Adams. I just think he's a little more proven at the graded stakes level, obviously, because, we haven't seen Verifier do it yet at this level. I think the jump up is a little bit of a question mark. And I just think Patch Adams, you look at his races where he's gone 7 furlongs or 6.5 furlongs. He's definitely the most consistent. He's just been really, really consistent. So I think he's the one to beat in here. He's the one for me. I'm going to go number 1, Patch Adams, to win this year's version of the Allen Jerkens. All right, guys, that is for this preview. Hit that like button if you like it. Hit subscribe. You really like it. Want to get alert anytime we do previews like this. And most importantly, good luck if you're playing Saratoga on Saturday.